Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Mind your business. Only on Money FM 89.3.
Welcome to Mind Your Business with me, MMUD Akhtar, and Audrey Seek. Now, in the world of bone marrow transplantation, one of the biggest challenges is finding a perfect match for patients in need. Here in Singapore, where the ethnic diversity makes fully matched unrelated donors less common, this issue is particularly pressing.
That's right. And even with a growing donor registry, over 125,000 registered donors as of last year, many patients still face long, uncertain waits for a compatible match. Now, the good news, though, medical advancements are changing the game. Mismatched unrelated donor transplants are giving new hope to patients who once had slim chances of finding a match.
So to tell us how his program is leading the way in expanding transplant options and how MMUD transplants are shaping the future of bone marrow donation, we're pleased to have on the show here in the studio Charles Loh, who's the CEO of the Bone Marrow Donor Program. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you on, Charles. Let's start with the big picture here. Can you give us a sense of where we stand today? Do we have enough donors in Singapore? And how easy or difficult is it for patients to find a match?
Well, since I'm talking to Money FM, let me talk in terms of supply and demand. Demand, we actually we're talking about search requests, and that's when a doctor says that the patients need a transplant. We receive about an annual about 500 search requests a year.
Oh, that's quite high.
Yeah, and the doctors will come to us, and we will try to do a search for them. And this number has been increasing, creeping up in the last few years. And I suppose that's not a surprise to many of us because cancer has now become the number one disease in Singapore. In the side of demand, well, as you say, we have 125,000 donors on the register. Each and every one of them are very, very valued donor. But the probability of finding a match is very low for that perfect match, right? So we are only able to facilitate slightly less than 100 transplants a year.
Okay. Can you help paint us a picture of the process of finding the right donor in terms of maybe the hierarchy of donor profiles?
Right. When a patient needs a transplant, the first port of call for doctors will be their siblings. They will try to look for a full match sibling. Well, the probability of finding that is 1 in 4. And given the family size in Singapore, well, you can see the probability of getting a matched sibling.
Yeah, and it's declining every year.
That's right, yeah. And if you can't find that, we will go for a matched unrelated donor. And that's when the doctor comes to us. Right? And the probability is even lower. All in all, it's about 1 in 20,000,
wow,
broadly speaking. Well, in Singapore, we did some study, and we find that the probability of the Chinese patient finding a match locally is only about 40%. For the Malay, it's about 20%. And for the Indians, only 2%.
Wow. Okay. So I know you've been working to educate people about mismatched unrelated donor transplants. Because when you use the word mismatched, it does seem like maybe it's completely off, right? What exactly would you say is mismatched unrelated donor transplants, and how do they offer a lifeline for patients who can't find that perfect match?
Right. Let me just continue with the process that the doctor is going through. First, they look for the matched sibling, and then after that, if they fail, they will come to us, and we try to look for the match unrelated.
Yep.
Now, with medical advances in Singapore, I'm glad to tell you that we actually have a third treatment option that the doctors has begun to use, and there is what we call haploidentical transplant. That means it's a half match, basically. And usually this is, the donor is a family member, parents, or even a sibling, right? But again, the probability of finding one is actually also not high, right? And that's where actually in-step mismatch unrelated donor, right? Now, the mismatch, what is a misnomer? what it means is not that it's totally mismatched. It just means in our lingo, a full match is 8 out of 8 match. So half match is 4 upon 4 out of 8, and mismatch is just 4 right in between, 7 out of 8, 6 out of 8, and 5 out of 8. Right? And this treatment is actually a complement to what we already have. Right? Why? Because you are definitely going to give an option for those who can't even find a family member to be a haplo donor. Right? And even for those who may have a haplo donor, they may not be the most suitable. For example, imagine a 40-year-old patient whose parents are in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
They may not be the best donor.
Understood. So actually this kind of clarifies things, because mismatched donors, that actually means that it's better than the half donors.
Yes, in a way you can say that. The studies and what has happened in the U.S. actually prove that. In the U.S., they have just gone through this for a few years already, and we are watching it very carefully. They are having results like 72 to 84% survival rate in the first year, which is very encouraging.
Indeed, it is. For the uninitiated, Charles, could you elaborate on some of the more common conditions here that require a bone marrow transplant, and which groups of people are most affected?
Right. If we are really talking about leukemia, lymphoma, which group is affected? Well, I've always said that unfortunately, cancer has no respect for anything, gender, age, ethnicity, anything. So really, everyone is in a way susceptible to it. But if I may point out, actually for us, our big concern is for the minority ethnicity. The Malay and the Indian, because we have so few of them in our register. So the probability of finding that full match is actually very low.
Yeah, so like to your point, cancer does not discriminate, and I'm sure that a lot of Singaporeans are aware of this issue. So over the years, has there been a shift in awareness and willingness to donate? Are more people signing up recently, or do you still see some hesitation?
Well, I must first of all say that I see improvement. I see there's greater awareness by and large. I must especially take this opportunity to point out and salute all those donors who came forward during COVID, when everybody shy away from hospital. When they were found to be a match, they came forward and they willingly donate. During COVID, those are really our heroes, right? So there's definitely improvement, and I'm really glad for that. But we did a national survey last year to try to find out the attitudes of Singaporeans towards marrow donation and their understanding of blood diseases. And we find that actually we have a lot more to do. There is a big gap in terms of knowledge. We have 58% saying that they don't know much about marrow donation. And we have up to even 52% who say that they're not willing, basically.
Yeah, so to that point, where and how often do you run your awareness campaigns?
Well, this is almost on a day-to-day basis. So in terms of road shows, we try to do road shows in the mall and in public spaces, and we do it almost twice a month. Every other day, we will be in schools, in corporates, anyone who are willing to open up their space to us, arrange for us to do a recruitment talk and awareness talk. We will be there. And we hope to do more, because really the message has to go out there to more and more people.
Yeah, so speaking of the message going out there, if someone listening today is interested in signing up as a donor, what steps should they take? And for those who maybe can't donate, are there other ways to support the cause?
Okay. It's pretty easy. For those who really wish to donate, just go to our website, www.bmdp.org, download, register, and we will basically get in touch with you. We'll send you what we call a poster kit. Just fill up a 2-page registration form, and you just do your swab. It's a buccal swab, but instead of your nose, like in COVID, it is actually in your inner cheek. Do the swab, send it back to us, and we'll do the rest to put you on the register.
Completely free, right?
Yes, it is a free service that we are offering, and we are thankful that we are able to do so because of financial support from Singaporeans. Which leads me to your second question. What can we do if you are not willing to be or will not be a marrow donor? Well, we need volunteers. We need ambassadors. We need people who can come on board with us, alongside with us, to pass the message and to support us in our different aspects of the operation. So do come and join us as a volunteer. And as we are a charity, we depend on financial donation. You can also give and support us financially.
Yeah, Charles, speaking of the finances, from a business standpoint, how difficult is it to run such an organization like yours in terms of getting funding, attracting donations, attracting talent, sponsors, etc.?
Well, for us to run as a charity, we do need the money. And as I say, we got the support from the people on the streets, right? And we do not get any government support, right? And that is, I must say that we are pretty blessed in this area, and we are very thankful for Singaporeans who support us. For the cost of a donation, I have also to point out that the cost of the procurement of the stem cell is actually borne by the patients themselves. Right? So we actually charge them at cost, or in fact, slightly below cost, so as our way of helping them.
And you also offer financial support for patients through the Transplant-Related Cost Subsidy Fund. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. We are fortunate, as I say, really thanks to Singaporeans who support us financially. We are able to design scheme that will help donors from the start to the end of their entire transplant journey.
Am I right to say the scheme can cover up to 50,000 Singapore dollars of the hospital bill per patient?
Well, more than that, we cover up to 50,000 of the transplant cost.
Right.
For needy cases, we even subsidize fully the cost of the procurement of the stem cell.
Wow, okay. So I want to ask, what's next for the bone marrow donor program? Are there any new initiatives or partnerships in the pipeline? And also, if you know of your roadshow that's coming up soon, we'd love to hear where and when that is.
Oh, that's wonderful news. Thank you for your partnership. We, as I said just now, we are organizing roadshows at least twice a month. We are out there all the time, talking to corporates and to schools and uniform groups and all. Our next big event will, however, be in the second half of the year. In September is World Marrow Donor Day, where we will be saluting our donors, all those who have donated in the past 2 years or so. We will bring them together to honor them. And on top of it, in the same event, we will be bring together a number of what we call donor-recipient pairs, allowing these people to meet for the very first time after the patient has sort of recovered at least 2 years after their transplant.
All right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic indeed. And final question before you let you go. It's a two-pronged one. You're the CEO of a charity organization. What does the day in the life of a CEO of a charity organization look like? And secondly, what advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs who want to be like you and make a change in their industries?
Well, a day in the life, I must say that this is a very interesting job. No 2 days are the same. We basically are out there to make sure that everything that we do serve a patient. We all know that whatever we do or don't do may affect someone and the entire family. So it's we have our ups and downs. We have our days when we say, yay, we got it, we found a donor. But we have days where we say, no, we can't find. And worse still, there are days where we have to endure the disappointing news of a donor dropout.
Right.
Which is also something that is important for Singaporeans to know. Today, our number one enemy, as I call it, is that of donor dropout, where 1 in 3 donors who are found to be a match actually said no, because donation is not mandatory; it is totally voluntary, and you can say no. So
this is after they've accepted.
After they've been found to be a match, and we call you up and we say, "Hey, you are found to be a match," and they drop out. So that's our ups and downs on a daily basis. Your second question?
Your advice for aspiring entrepreneurs who want to emulate you?
Wow. I would say maybe that is really to believe in what you are doing. This is something that I've learned in my life and my career all through, and it sort of repeated itself here in BMTP. When I first joined, I must admit that I thought I'm just in here to solve some problem and then off I go. But I realized as I move on that there is a lot more that I can do. There's a lot more I can do for the sake of the patient. So the mission grew on me. So that's why we developed the patient subsidy schemes. We try to follow up with medical advances, and here we are talking about MMUD or mismatch, trying to be the facilitator to bring to Singapore yet another treatment protocol for the sake of patients. So the mission grew on me. And with that, then I try to make sure that the team is with me, and together we work on it. So believing in what you are doing is pretty important to me, and that's what we also need to impart to the team.
Yeah, well, the highs are highs and the lows may be lows, but you are truly changing lives here, Charles, and this has been such an insightful conversation. Mismatched donor transplants are truly a game changer in giving more patients a second chance at life, and with growing awareness and support, more lives can be saved. Charles, thanks so much for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir. Charles Loh is the CEO of the Bone Marrow Donor Program, and you're listening to Money FM 89.3.
To listen to the full interview, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio, at the App Store and Google Play.